Hello, this is Yogeshwar 7000 again, and I'm back with another interesting topic today on Vedic astrology. And today we'll be talking about the reasons of childlessness, as a matter of fact. Um, and as we know, that Vedic astrology is a Vedanga. It's an extension of the Vedas, and through Vedic astrology, we understand as to what kind of karmas we are experiencing. So, in a nutshell, when you look at a birth chart, it's a representation of your karmas, both past and present, and the birth chart will represent as to what's in store for you in this present lifetime, because Hindus believe in several lifetimes based on your accumulated karmas. So there are three types of karmas. I'm not going to get into details with that. One is a sanchita karma, which is your accumulated balance of your karma, which you've accumulated over several past lifetimes. Then there is the prarabdha, which is the karma you will experience from the accumulated karma, which is you'll experience out of that sanchita karma in this present lifetime. So that's prarabdha. And the third karma is what you currently are doing, which you'll experience in either this lifetime or your future births, and that is called agami kriyaman. So the sages have divided our karma into three divisions: the sanchit, which is the accumulated balance; the prarabdha, which is what we'll experience based on the accumulated balance which we have; and the agami kriyaman, which we'll be experiencing based on the karmas and the deeds, good or bad, which we are doing in this lifetime, which we'll experience in this birth or the following births. So why I'm trying to connect it to children is because you would have come across a lot of birth charts, a lot of parents very worried because they've not been able to have children in spite of getting or being married for several years. And then they go to a Vedic priest or a Vedic astrologer, and the Vedic astrologer does point out that yes, it is written in your present birth chart or your natal birth chart. It is mentioned that there is a problem. And as we know, in the natal birth chart, children are looked at from the fifth house. The fifth house is the house of children. So there are various combinations of childlessness, which we cannot discuss in this video because this video is limited by time. But we'll discuss some of the major problems and what are the reasons of those problems which causes childlessness in birth charts. Or if not childlessness, then people may be blessed with children who may be born with defects, or couples may be born with children who may not be, bright kids, or may have some kind of a problem. So it's all associated with our own karmas, which we have done in the past life, which has manifested in this life, because the fifth house is also a house of Purva Punya and Purva Papa as well. So if there's a problem in the fifth house, it'll very, very surely manifest through either childlessness or having children with some kind of a defect which has been carried on from our past lives, and it manifests itself very strongly. Of course, the past life karmas do manifest through all the houses, through all the planets, but very, very strongly through the fifth house, which is directly related to children, and also Purva means past, Punya means good deeds, or papas as well, if they're malefics associated with the fifth house. So let's look at, and like I said, we'll not go into detailed combinations. We'll just discuss some basic facts in our birth chart as to what is causing these problems in the fifth house, resulting in problems related to children. And I'm going to tell you something which is coming from the scriptures. It's not a copy and paste. Unfortunately, that's what's happening in the internet these days. So it's coming directly from the ancient scriptures. And the ancient scriptures have mentioned that in case there is an obstacle in childlessness because of the planet Sun. So there are planets which will be associated with your fifth house. So in case the problem is because Sun, which normally is a very cruel planet, it's a hot planet, and if it's a malefic for your birth chart. So not all the birth charts with Sun in the fifth house, or Sun aspecting the fifth house, or Sun associated with the Lord of the fifth house is malefic. I'm talking in specific terms to when Sun causes childlessness in a birth chart. And why I'm discussing all these things is because then, of course, once we understand what's the problem, then, of course, remedial measures can be undertaken. And, of course, remedial measures have to be taken very carefully under the supervision of an expert Vedic scholar. That's the reason why we're discussing this in this video. So in case the childlessness is associated with the planet Sun, meaning which the fifth house is somehow afflicted through the planet Sun, either by aspect or conjunction, or the Lord of the fifth house being associated with Sun, which is a natural, it's not a malefic, but it's a cruel planet, hot planet, which can make other planets combust. So if Sun is the cause, and Sun is a major malefic for your birth chart as well, then the scriptures say that the childlessness is due to disrespect shown to Lord Shiva and sometimes Garuda as well. So Garuda is the vehicle of Vishnu, as we all know, Lord Vishnu, and Garuda comes from the family of sage Kashyapa. So he is a gotra of Kashyapa Rishi, or sage Kashyapa. So here's what the scriptures say again, that in case the problem is because of Sun, which is associated with the fifth house, which is causing childlessness, it is because of disrespect shown to Lord Shiva and also to Garuda as well at sometimes, but yes, God Shiva. So why we are once again discussing is then if we understand the problem is associated with Lord Shiva, then of course we can perform remedies related to Lord Shiva because of its Sun, which is causing the problem. So in case the planet associated with childlessness, and again it's associated directly with the fifth house, and also you have to look at the Saptamsha chart as well, which is a D7 chart. And through the D7 chart, you can actually look at very carefully, look at it in more detail as to what's the planet which is causing the problem. So just don't look at the main Rashi chart, go to the Saptamsha or the D7 chart as well. And of course there are rules how to make a D7 chart, but you know, there are softwares available today where you can just, you know, with a click of a button find your D7 chart. And of course the birth time has to be accurate, because otherwise the divisional charts can go all completely off, and it will not give you the good result. So look at the D7 chart as well while we are discussing this as far as the fifth house is concerned. So in case the planet causing the childlessness is Moon, it is because of Matri Shrapa. Matri means mother in English, and Shrapa means curse. So it is because of the curse of the mother. Means you probably in your past births have somehow angered your mother or shown disrespect to her or didn't care about her, and the mother never curses, but it comes out of automatically in case a mother is suffering. So it's not just that she'll, you know, put a curse on you, you know, take some kind of a flower and put a curse on the flower and throw it at you. No, it happens automatically, and that's what is the beauty of the theory of karma, which is explained so well in our Hindu scriptures. So in case the planet which is causing childlessness is the planet Moon, which is associated with the fifth house, which is malefic in your birth chart, associated with the fifth house, or if you can figure it out through the D7 chart, it is because of the anger of the mother, the curse of the mother, or any other mother-like woman who should have been shown respect and her feelings have been hurt. So you figure out that's what is the problem in your past life. So, what do? Of course, if it's that, then of course in this present lifetime you can care more for your mother, care more for mother-like figures, and then of course you have to contact or consult a Vedic scholar as to how to come over this childlessness issue. Or not just childlessness, like I said, could be problems with your children in terms of their physical, mental development, all kinds of problems, their health, so on and so forth. Now, in case the planet here or the problem associated with childlessness is the planet Mars. So it is because of some problem related to your village deity. In olden days, mostly people, there were no big, large cities. There were, but mostly people lived in villages. And generally, as a matter of custom, there was a village temple and there was a main deity associated with that village where people used to live. So in case the problem is Mars, associated with the fifth house, or you figure out through the D7 chart, then there is some problem shown disrespect to the village deity in your past life. And of course, if it's a generation of people, and this gives us an indication. So if people have been living for several generations in a village and there's a problem with a couple with childlessness, they can just go to that temple, the village temple or the deity, and offer prayers and do remedial measures, because they've been living there and there's a good possibility that in the past life they've been associated with this village and probably they were born in this village itself, but not definitely, but there is a possibility. So if the planet concerned here with childlessness is Mars, it is because of disrespect shown to the village deity or to Lord Kartikeya, which is ruler of Mars, as we know, as with Puranas. The god Kartikeya has been given rulership over the planet Mars. So that is because of the problem of shown disrespect to either the village deity or to Lord Kartikeya. So what one can do is, of course, appease Lord Kartikeya if the problem is Mars. And then just don't experiment yourself, consult a Vedic scholar. Once again, I keep repeating this because people experiment, they pick up mantras from the internet and then they end up getting their lives confused even more. And don't do that. Go to a Vedic scholar. And in case the problem is associated with Mercury, the childlessness is because of some crimes you would have done as a child or as a younger person, because Mercury is the prince in Vedic astrology. He's the young man, not even a man, like a teenage person or just getting into adulthood. So that could be, and that is actually not could be, it's coming from the scriptures. So it is mentioned in the scriptures that it is due to the crimes done by a youngster, or because of killing off fishes or water creatures, or because of the displeasure of Lord Vishnu. Why because Vishnu? Because Lord Vishnu is directly related to the planet Mercury. So if it's Mercury which is causing the problem, look at your chart. If it's Mercury which is causing the problem, it could be either God Vishnu, it could be because you could have killed eggs of fishes. Did I say fishes? No, it's actually eggs of fishes which you may have destroyed, or crimes done by you as a youngster in your past birth. So what do? Then you have to do something for youngsters in this present life, or do something for fishes in this present life, or appease Lord Vishnu. In case the cause of childlessness is because of the planet Jupiter, which you can figure out through your birth chart, it is because you have been disrespectful or caused some kind of a harm to a Brahmin family priest, or a Brahmin, or a tree full of fruits. So it's either a Brahmin or a Brahmin family or a Brahmin priest, or destruction of a tree full of fruits. Now, these gives us little indications, little clues as to, well, Jupiter is a planet which is directly related to trees, which is full of fruits, right? So these ancient scriptures do give us these indications. So in case there's a problem, even otherwise, let's not talk about childlessness, even otherwise, if you have a tree which is not full of fruits, something comes to your mind. Well, has it something to do with Jupiter, that this tree is not giving fruits? That gives us an indication. Anyways, so that's what is the beauty about decoding these ancient scriptures. So in case the cause of childlessness is because of the planet Jupiter, it is either a Brahmin, anger or a curse given by a Brahmin, or you've done some bad deeds or caused some harm to a Brahmin or a Brahmin family priest, or to a Brahmin priest, or destruction of a tree full of fruit. So what do you do? Of course, you can take care of a Brahmin priest, and you can plant trees and look after them, trees with full of fruits. But then again, once again, don't do it yourself. Ask a Vedic scholar. In case the childlessness is because of the planet Venus, which you can figure out once again through your birth chart, main chart, Rashi chart, Saptam chart, D7 chart, it is because of the fact that you may have cut a tree full of flowers. So again, if you do decode trees which are full of flowers, gives us an indication that Venus, it is about Venus. Okay, so a tree full of fruits is about Jupiter, a tree full of flowers is about Venus, and this knowledge can be applied to some other areas of our lives as well, like I mentioned, that in case you have a tree which is not flowering, then you may try to think, well, it has got something to do with my afflicted Venus or a problem. But then coming back to childlessness, in case the childlessness is caused by the planet Venus, it is, you may have cut either a tree full of flowers, or you may have caused harm to a woman of virtuous qualities, or to the cows. So a lot of astrologers misrepresent cows with moon, of course, but here there is a direct relationship of cows to the planet Venus. So what do? Well, you serve the cows in this present lifetime. That's why decoding these ancient scriptures is very important. So if the problem is because of Venus, which you can easily figure out through a birth chart, try serving the cows, or try serving virtuous women with good qualities, or try serving trees full of flowers, or try to plant trees which are flowerless trees which gives flowers. In case Saturn is the problem responsible for childlessness, it will, because you've destroyed a peepal tree. A peepal is a Hindi name for a fig tree, actually, which grows in the Indian subcontinent, Southeast Asia, just the Southeast Asia part, and like China, Indonesia, Malaysia, India. That's a fig tree, a typical fig tree, which is called popularly as peepal. So once again, these scriptures are giving us an idea. A lot of astrologers get confused. Well, peepal tree, is it associated with Jupiter? Is it associated with Mars? Is it associated with Rahu? No, it is directly associated with the planet Saturn. So again, if your Saturn is in a problem, well, can you do something with the peepal? But again, coming to childlessness, in case Saturn is the planet responsible for childlessness, which you can figure out from your birth chart, then you have harmed the people tree. Or because Yama is angry with you. Okay, so Yama is the god of death as per Indian Hindu scriptures. Or through departed spirits. So who are departed spirits could not be your pitras, may not be your own ancestors, but any departed spirits. Or even goblins. So that's what's mentioned here. So Saturn problem is definitely because you've either cut a people tree, which should not be cut as per the Hindu scriptures. Never ever cut the people tree, because that's where gods reside. That's where Shiva is there, it's believed by some. But definitely yakshas are there. Yakshas are also divine creatures. So so it has to do something with the people tree or the fig tree, which grows in the Asian subcontinent, South Asian area. Or because Yama is angry with you, god of death. Okay, well, Yama may be angry with you because you've done bad deeds, and through departed souls and spirits. Could be any. So you already know the remedy, but do it based on the advice of a Vedic scholar. Don't just go to a people tree and start doing stuff. Go to a Vedic scholar, figure out, okay, well, the problem is Saturn, and this could be because my problems with my past life related to blah blah these things, so what should I do? So he'll be able to give you ideas and the right rituals to do it. In case Rahu is responsible for problems associated with the 5th house, that's because of the curse of serpents, because Rahu is a snake. Okay, in case Ketu is involved with the 5th house, again, it's because of the curse of the serpent, because Ketu is also related with snakes. So how in the Indian mythology or Indian scriptures it's mentioned is Ketu has a body of a snake. No, Ketu has the body but the head of a snake. Rahu has a head but the body of a snake. Okay, so both are serpents, because you know how Mohini cut the head off of Swarbhanu, and we'll not get into that story. Probably one of my earlier videos we've discussed that. So it's definitely because of the curse of the serpents. And then again, a Vedic scholar is gonna tell you how to take care of that. Now the scriptures have also mentioned other planets. One is Mandi. Mandi is the son of Saturn. It's a very malefic planet, and it doesn't have a physical body. It's like a shadow planet, just like Rahu and Ketu. And it's mentioned that if Mandi, and there are ways to find out where Mandi is placed in your birth chart. If Mandi is somehow afflicting your 5th house lord, or the 5th house, or the Saptamsa, then it's directly related to the curse of the departed spirits. Once again, it could be your ancestors, it could be other spirits. And the scriptures also say, in case Venus and the planet Moon, the planet Venus and the planet Moon are in conjunction with Mandi, which is causing childlessness, because it has to be a relationship with the 5th house here, or the Saptamsa, it will be on account that you either killed a woman or a cow. Okay, so problems with children, look at your birth chart, see where Mandi is placed. Well, is there a connection here? Is it conjunct with Venus and the Moon? It doesn't have to be or. Venus, Moon, and Mandi have to be in conjunction, and then it has to have a relationship in the Saptamsa somehow, or the 5th house in the Rashi chart. And then it's directly, either you killed a cow or a woman. So of course you can perform remedial measures. And in case Jupiter or Ketu, so it's either Jupiter, this time it's not like Venus and Moon. In case Jupiter or Ketu is in conjunction with Mandi and be sitting in the fifth house. That's a very clear combination which has been given in the scriptures. So in case Jupiter or Ketu are sitting with Mandi in the fifth house, the childlessness problems will be directly related to the killing of a Brahmin. Okay, so any problems related to your children, you can figure out, and then of course you can perform remedial measures. So hopefully you enjoyed this video on problems related to children or childlessness, which is very, very important. Parents do want to see their children happy and healthy and, you know, comfortable if they have children, and if they don't have, of course they won't have children. So hopefully you enjoyed this video. In the meanwhile, I will recommend subscribe to my channel, check out my website, there is a link below, and I will see you with an interesting topic very soon. Goodbye.